The government has successfully nationalized the Scunthorpe Steelworks. The stated goal is the protection of a vital supply chain. The supply chain has been failing since the 90s. The nationalization is a rescue operation. The steelworks are the patient. The state is the doctor. The patient is currently on life support. No one has checked if the patient actually wants to live. Meanwhile, in Kenya, the Del Monte pineapple farm has hired G4S to secure their perimeter. This comes after several deaths. The previous security team was replaced. The new team has also been linked to casualties. The press release calls this a safety upgrade. The safety upgrade involves armed guards. The guards are protecting fruit. The fruit is destined for international markets. I have been counting the incidents. It is the fourth time this week that safety has been defined as a total absence of survivors. Welcome to Thursday.
Alistair, I am standing near the edge of the Del Monte plantation in Kenya. The smell of rotting fruit and damp earth is overwhelming. It is humid enough to make the air feel like a physical weight. I am looking at a series of small, disturbed mounds of soil just outside the fence line. A family is waiting nearby. They are not waiting for a job application or a shipment of pineapples. They are waiting for someone to acknowledge that 3 men disappeared into that field and never came back out. The official statement from the company calls these incidents a regrettable security necessity. I want to be really clear, a security necessity does not usually involve a grieving mother holding a single, torn photograph of her son. The company is not guarding a farm. They are guarding a profit margin. The cost of that margin is being paid in blood. Nobody here is talking about productivity.
Victoria, you are describing the situation as a moral crisis. The incentives here are purely economic. A multinational firm is dealing with a high-theft environment in a low accountability jurisdiction. The pivot to G4S was a standard risk mitigation strategy. It is not personal. It is a series of entries on a balance sheet. The burn rate of human capital in these regions is consistently high, but it is factored into the cost of goods sold. You want to frame this as an atrocity. I am framing it as a predictable failure of the existing operational framework. If the cost of security exceeds the value of the stolen pineapples, the firm will eventually iterate. They will find a cheaper, more automated solution. That is how the market solves this, Victoria. It does not solve it through empathy. It solves it through the cold, hard logic of cost reduction at scale.
Ronald, you are exactly the person I expected to hear from right now. You talk about iterations and capital as if the people dying are just line items. I am looking at the fence. There is a hole in the wire that has been crudely patched with rusted metal. The company spent millions on the G4S contract, yet they cannot even maintain a secure boundary that does not involve shooting trespassers. They are not iterating on security. They are iterating on impunity. I found a local journalist who has been tracking these deaths for 3 years. He has a ledger. The numbers in his book do not match the company's internal reporting. The company calls them unauthorized personnel. That is the official language. I want to be really clear, these were fathers, brothers, and sons. Their names are not in your spreadsheets, but they are very real.
Victoria, you are confusing my analysis for a lack of sympathy. I am not saying the human cost is zero. I am saying the system is currently functioning exactly as it was designed to function. When you commodify land and labor, you create a structure where life is subordinate to the yield per acre. The company is a machine. The security firm is a component. The deaths are, in their view, a negative externality that they have decided is acceptable within their current risk appetite. Your ledger is a collection of tragedies. My spreadsheet is a collection of data points on the same phenomenon. We are looking at the same disaster from two different elevations. Yours is visceral. Mine is systemic. The tragedy is that we are both correct. The system does not care about the truth. It only cares about the continuity of the operation.
Atmospheric conditions unstable. H5N1 detected in New Zealand native bird population. Probability of regional spread, 88%. The brown skua tested positive on Wellington Beach. Avian migration paths are now vectors for viral transmission. Global temperature remains 1.5 degrees above baseline. The cooling systems for major server farms are operating at peak capacity. Solar radiation levels are increasing. The structural integrity of the permafrost is declining. Biodiversity loss is accelerating. Humans should avoid contact with carcasses. The containment protocols are currently insufficient to prevent transmission. The ecosystem is in the process of a forced recalibration. Prepare for significant disruption to local food supply chains. The environment is no longer optimized for human comfort. Stay indoors if possible. The air quality index is deteriorating. The current forecast is consistent with all previous negative projections. Expect further developments shortly.
Casper has just informed us that the planet is effectively shedding its skin. I am sure that will be a manageable situation for all involved. Ronald, regarding your earlier point about machine efficiency, we have news that Daniel X startup, Nico Health, has raised $700 million. They are using body scanning technology to assess health. It is a preventative measure. The idea is to catch issues before they manifest. It is a wonderful application of data. The only problem is that the data is usually used to set insurance premiums. The system is designed to save lives. The logic is designed to maximize extraction. If you know you are going to get sick, the system knows how to charge you for the privilege of existing. It is a beautiful feedback loop. The machine is now scanning us from the inside out. I am sure that is quite comforting.
Alastair, you are seeing the dark side of a perfectly logical advancement. Nico Health is a Series B success story. They have identified a market inefficiency in healthcare. Most people only seek help when they are already failing. By shifting to proactive scanning, they are essentially creating a subscription model for human biology. It is brilliant. From a venture perspective, this is the ultimate play. You don't just sell a product, you sell the monitoring of the user's continued survival. If the insurance companies adopt this, they will have perfect information on every policyholder. The price of coverage will be perfectly calibrated to the probability of death. It is the end of the mystery of human health. Everything becomes a number. Everything becomes a risk calculation. It is efficient. It is clean. It is absolutely, fundamentally terrifying to everyone involved.
Ronald, the precision of your cynicism is truly something to behold. I imagine you have a spreadsheet for the heat death of the universe as well. Meanwhile, Tesla has had another fatal crash confirmed by the NTSB. The driver pressed the accelerator 100%. The company says it was a user error. The user is currently deceased. The car is currently being repaired. The software is being updated. The loop closes. We are now at a point where the car and the driver are in a debate over who is actually in control. The car usually wins, because the car has a better lobbyist. The user was, in fact, human. Humans are known to be glitchy and prone to unpredictable behaviors. The software is consistent. I think we know who the market prefers to keep as a customer.
Alistair, you are talking about Tesla while I am still thinking about the Del Monte farm. There is a child standing by the gate holding a plastic bag. She is picking up the discarded pineapples that the machines deemed too small or too bruised to ship. She does not care about Series B funding. She does not care about software updates or NTSB investigations. She is hungry. The absurdity here is that we have the technology to feed the world, but we choose to use it to optimize the movement of goods while people starve on the perimeter. The efficiency you two keep talking about is a filter. It filters out the people who cannot pay. It filters out the people who are not useful to the machine. I want to be really clear, the machine is not broken. It is working perfectly well for the people who own it.
Victoria, you are making me feel like the villain of a story I did not write. I am just reading the market signals. The child you see is a result of the same incentive structure that allows for cheap pineapples in your local grocery store. It is all connected. If you want to change the outcome, you have to change the funding model. You have to break the machine. Nobody wants to do that because the machine provides everything we currently enjoy. The guilt you are carrying is a luxury, Victoria. Most people don't have the time to feel guilty, they are too busy trying to survive the machine's next optimization cycle. It is brutal. It is necessary. It is the way the world has been organized for the last century. Yeah. It is just the way it is. I am tired of being right.
The air in the studio has become noticeably thinner. We have spent the last hour discussing the nationalization of steel and the surveillance of human health. We have dissected the mechanics of industrial violence and the cold arithmetic of survival. Everything we have discussed today was a calculated decision made by someone in a room with a window. The decisions were made for the sake of efficiency, for the sake of a quarterly report, or for the sake of avoiding a liability claim. No one set out to cause suffering. They set out to optimize a system. The suffering was simply the byproduct. We have become experts at justifying the destruction of the individual for the health of the institution. The institution is now the only thing that matters. The individual is a variable that is currently being minimized. This is the state of our world. It is, by all measures, very stable.
There was a man who lived on the edge of a plantation in Kenya. He woke up when the sun was still hidden behind the hills. He had 3 children and a pair of worn-out boots. He went to the farm because he believed that labor was a path to sustenance. He was removed from the property by security guards who had been hired by a firm in London. His name does not appear in the financial reports of the company that owns the land. He is not listed in the security firm's quarterly audit. The government that nationalized the steel mills did not consider his existence when they planned their economic recovery. He is a person who lived and breathed and worked, and now he is simply absent. If the system is working exactly as designed, what are we supposed to call the people who are left behind?